Hi Starting Out Solitary, I'm your new Tuesday hostess Pandora, and this week we are just doing the necessary introductions. So hi, I'm Pandora. I'm a 33-year-old happily married mother of 2 small children residing in regional Queensland, Australia, if you can't tell by my accent. So my daughter is about 20 months old and my son is 5. I'm currently a stay-at-home mother. Before I had the children, I was working in a large retail pharmacy, and I'm now studying for a certificate in mental health so that I can be a disability support carer for people living with mental illness. And I have been on the path of the craft mostly as a solitary for about 20 years now. Not that that necessarily means anything. I'm a very strong believer that we all have something to contribute and something to offer regardless of our age or how long we've been on the path. Having said that, I'm very happy to share some of the wisdom that I've gained over the years as someone who is still on the path after all these years, and someone who's at different times not been as active in my practice and then stepped back onto the path and things like that. All of the existential journeys that I've had over the years and the ups and downs, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to share with you guys a bit of what I've learned and what I know and what helps me in my life as a witch and on my path. So I do ask that you take everything as my personal perspective and take on what works for you and what resonates and leave the rest. I don't ask you to take anything that I say as the gospel truth because I'm just one person. So having said that, yeah, really happy to be here. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to do this, and thanks to Tara for giving me this opportunity. I'm really stoked to be a part of this collab going forward into the new year. Happy New Year, by the way. And yeah, so if I had to define my path, which I don't really like to, except to say that I'm a witch, I would say that I'm very highly eclectic, which most of us are these days, especially those of us on a solitary path. I draw very heavily from Wicca. I would also say that I'm a bit of a hedge witch, a bit of a green witch, a bit of a kitchen witch. I do love to be out in nature. I have to visit parks regularly. I have to spend a certain amount of time in nature, otherwise I don't feel right. And I love to garden. I like growing different herbs to use in my practice. So I've got a few herbs growing and different plants that I use in my practice. So I love gardening. And I love to do kitchen witchery, so a lot of what I do is just recipes and stuff that I can make up in the kitchen, so different balms and tinctures and 4 Thieves vinegar and things like that that I can do in the kitchen, because it's something that I can do away from my children, because I have to be very careful around them. Like if I was lighting a whole heap of candles and stuff, it might be a bit of a safety hazard and stuff like that. So it's just part of my life as a mum now is that my craft is quite informal. I don't do a whole lot of formal rituals, like the big fully decked out rituals very often, because I don't get an opportunity to. I'm often really busy with my kids, or I'm tired. Even just to make this video, I've had to escape from my children, so they're upstairs, and I've escaped to come downstairs to make this video. So yeah, I've got a lot of experience with having that kind of low-key, but very consistent and very deep and meaningful for me practice. So yeah, even though my practice is quite simple and quite informal and low-key and kind of free flow and free form, it works for me and it really helps me. So if there's anything about that I can share with you guys, I'm really happy to do that. So yeah, and when I do spells, I like to use candles, I like to use herbs and essential oils. I love using crystals and gemstones and other stones. I love to use sigils and runes, and if I had to describe how I think of things in terms of the gods and things like that, I would say ultimately I'm quite agnostic. I don't claim to know whether gods and things like that are real in the literal sense, but I do very much find it helpful to use the whole chaos magic idea of belief as a tool. So even if I don't believe in the gods, I like to relate to them as though they are real, because I find that works a lot better. And I have come back to a more deity-based practice just in recent years. Like for a lot of years, I was sort of very atheistic and agnostic, and I sort of just worked with the idea of nature and the energy of nature and things like that. Whereas now I'm finding I enjoy working with specific deities, and I'm really enjoying that part of my practice, and I'm finding it a lot of fun. And some of the deities that I work with include Kuan Yin, the Lady Isis, the goddess Lilith, and more recently the goddess Freya, and I also work with Cernunnos and Ganesha and other different gods. So they're not all from the same pantheon, obviously. Obviously I am very eclectic, which I think is just part of being a modern witch in this day and age, really. It's sort of just, and you know, you can only play it by ear and see what works for you, and for me, what I do, I find works really well. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm not sure what else to say. If you have any questions, then feel free to comment below and ask me anything you like, and I'll fill you in on whatever I can. So thanks very much for watching this video. Happy New Year to you. I'm very excited to be a part of this collab going forward. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!